Good morning, guys. Day 5 on the road to recovery. Still drinking my tea. So, yes, lots of tea, lots of honey, lots of lemon. So, thank you all for the prayers and the well wishes and uh, suggestions and everything. I do appreciate it. So, here's a question for you. We're now less than 2 weeks away from the midterm elections. Anybody else seeing all the catastrophic idiocy that's going on with some of this stuff? I mean, if we let's talk about debates. Katie Hobbs won't debate Carrie Lake in Arizona at all. Maggie Hassan didn't show up for the second time for her debate against Don Bolduc up in New Hampshire. Uh, then, of course, you have John Fetterman, who did show up to debate Dr. Oz. What was it? Tuesday night, I think it was. And that was just an utter train wreck. Okay. So we have people running away and hiding, doing all, sticking their foot in their mouth left and right. I mean, it's pretty bad when these are the people that we are considering to make the decisions on how we are going to live our lives. All right. And as preppers, this is something that we prep for. We prep for the days that a Katie Hobbs wins, a John Fetterman wins, a Maggie Hassan continues to destroy New Hampshire. I lived up there during some of her tenure. She's an idiot. Okay. But so let's take a look at some of this election idiocy. All right. We have vote by mail, right? That's going on. I'll give you this. If you saw any of the clips, and it's kind of hard to miss, on Fetterman's debate the other night, where he starts out and says, "Good night, everybody," like it was over at the beginning, okay? And I mean, the guy couldn't put together a coherent sentence. Here's the problem. Because of vote by mail, before that debate, 635,428 ballots had already been received by the election committee with no way of changing them. Okay. And God knows how many more were already in the mail or just hadn't been marked as received as of yet. So let's safe to say 700,000 ballots were submitted, whoever they voted for. We don't know that, obviously, before that debacle of a debate. You think those people were fully informed of what's going on? No. Let's take a look at Nye County in Nevada. Nye County is just west of Clark County in where Las Vegas is. Okay, so you're up by Pahrump and everything like that for those of you guys out there. The Democrat Party in Nye County is suing the election board because the election board said they are going to count ballots by hand and not use voting machines. Really? That's stunningly stupid. Okay, I'm sorry. No matter what you do, this computer will always be better than this computer. Okay, there. Period. All right, and you can tell me, oh, computers don't make mistakes. Okay, fine. All right, I'll disagree with you on that one. How about Georgia? Okay, here's a good one. Georgia had an issue yesterday where a mail truck
Let's keep this conversation
caught,
going. Bring in a
caught
former
fire. Okay, there were absentee ballots on the mail truck. Do we know how many? No. Do we know whose they were? No. So now there's a bunch of people who mailed in their ballot who don't even know if their ballot will be counted or not. This is the inherent problem with this mail-in voting, early voting, all this sort of crap. Okay? I'm going to say something here that you guys are going to be shocked by. There's actually something in this world I agree with Bernie Sanders on. Okay? Bernie Sanders proposed in 2018 to the Senate to make Election Day a national holiday. Okay? I agree with that. We should make Election Day a national holiday. I'll give you this as a start, okay? When I lived up in Indiana, Election Day, the liquor stores were required to be closed until the polls closed, okay? So it can be done, no big deal. You couldn't go to a bar, you couldn't go buy a six pack or anything like that until after 7 o'clock or whatever time the polls closed. That was it, okay? Period. Why isn't it that we have a national holiday, all businesses close, election, obviously you're going to have uh, hospitals and police departments and stuff like that, but essential workers would still work. But, Walmart doesn't have to open. The grocery store doesn't have to open. You go back to the way the country ran under the blue laws, back 40, 50 years ago, where everything was closed on Sunday. I think we can do that one day every 2 years. Stop the mail-in voting. Stop the absentee voting, provided you can prove a necessity. You're in the military, yeah, that's an easy one, okay? You're out of country or whatever, okay, so be it. But no, Election Day is one day in person. Make the polls open 24 hours. You got, was it Dixville Notch up in New Hampshire? Opens the polls at midnight or 12:01 a.m. And they're usually closed by 12:15 because there's only like a dozen people that live in the town. Have the polls open 24 hours. That way nobody can come up with the excuse, I didn't have time to go, okay? Because you could have gone before work, you could have gone after work, and yes, I understand there are a teeny tiny minuscule portion of the population, i.e. doctors, some in hospitals, that will work a 24-hour shift, okay? If they know they're going to be on a 24-hour shift that day, they get an absentee ballot, all right? But that way, 24 hours, polls are open, nobody has to go to work. Yes, you get voter ID. That way, everybody knows their vote was counted. Everybody knows their vote was one person, one vote. They had to prove they were a U.S. resident. There was no worries about it got lost in the mail, it wasn't postmarked, the truck caught on fire. We saw the stories last time about postal carriers throwing bags of ballots in the river. Okay, we don't have any of those issues. This, like I said, I agree with Bernie on that one. And no, I don't agree with Bernie on anything else. Okay, just making that clear. But we've got to get our election process straightened out. And the making it easier to vote is not what we need to do. We need to make it easy, but we need to make it efficient. Voting is one of the most difficult rights to get in the world. It's hard to keep. There's a lot of countries in the world that would love to have the ability to vote for who their leaders are, that would give their left nut to sit there and have what we have, the ability to choose who does it. Why we are so dead set on corrupting it and destroying it any which way possible, I have no idea. But this is something that when we get our new Congress, we really need to push them on a lot of things. We need to start rebuilding this government. We need to get things like one day, one vote. We need to get term limits. We need to rein in Congress. And if the people that are in Congress don't agree with us, then we need to get them out. It's as simple as that. We need to take this country back at the ballot box before there is no other choice but the cartridge box. Pinball out.